This episode that we're starting with today is probably called something along the lines of fixing people's needs, curing people's depression, making people happy again. Something along those lines which really tells a story of what we're going to be doing today, as long as everything goes well. Today, the plan is to fix these issues. It's been brought up very nicely in an episode comment section a couple episodes ago that we would probably be having a lot easier and a more beneficial time if people weren't so miserable all the time. It's not something I've been really paying attention to, but the average mood of the colony is pretty low. And we kind of need to fix it in order for us to progress, really. So the plan for today, regardless of build base, regardless of starting on the kitchen stuff, it's going to be making people happy, honestly. And there's a few things that we need to do in order to fix this. Just taking Branston, for example, we have a -5, another -5, another -5, and a -3 that we can fix fairly easily. Now, it's all of the ideology stuff that we need to start working on, really. So, in order for us to do that, we're going to keep it within the xenotype. So, Spag, Meatloaf, and the next child will be assigned to the ideology. Now, in order for us to then assign them to the ideology, they need to be old enough, so it will take us some time. Otherwise, sad youngsters, we need to be able to fix at some point. Recreation, we can fix fairly easily. Mind-shattering pain? I'm not sure how. We'll just wait and fix that. Badly malnourished? That is actually an issue. So a lot of the things stem down to basic human needs that we need to fix. So that is the plan for today's episode. So if you enjoy us trying to fix our colony, consider liking and subscribing. And make sure you tell your mum about it. Let's get into things, and let's hope that John can fix Anise enough so she doesn't have a miscarriage. And yeah, just as soon as I said that, Anise has miscarried as a result of poor health. That's okay, you know, it's my own fault. This is what the whole point of today's episode is, to fix all of these issues that we've got so we can have successful childbirths. And for some reason, John lost her role as the kitchen porter. So this will give us a +5 in mood for everybody. And Spag has gotten food poisoning from potatoes, caused dangerous food type. Are they honestly that dangerous? I feel like classing potatoes as a dangerous food would probably upset like the whole Irish population. A slave rebellion. Acosta is rebelling. Wow, are you sure that is a good idea? Now, it has also been brought to my attention that children don't have as much health as John. Who'd have thought it? So I am going to use John once again to beat down a slave, but I'm going to force John to use her fists. So hopefully nothing will happen to the child that we're beating. No, nothing happened apart from us knocking them out. John, and the comment section, thank you for your help there, because Acosta would have definitely died if I'd used the weapon. A raid from the insects. I think once we can reform the ideology, I think we make it so we can eat insects. It's one of the big things, you know, a kitchen, eating insects. It's a modern day idea of eating insects. You know, there's if you eat 10 kilos of crickets and compare it to 10 kilos of chicken, there is ratio by body weight more protein in crickets than there is chicken. Quick fact of the day with King or Hobos. But it looks like there's only just 2 mecha spiders, so this should be easy peasy for John to sort out. Yep, there we go. Easy peasy. Good job, John. I am proud of you. I've made the decision as well that we're going to have the holiday resort in this top corner here. And we're not going to have it expand down any further down here. I've realized that we can actually grow things on the sand. So that's what we're going to be doing. Like, we can grow ourselves some rye, some cucumbers, butternut squash. All those exciting things that we can also grow elsewhere. Just to add to the various things that we can grow. So we're going to allow this area down here to be just for growing on the sand. And another thing that we need to take into account for making people happy, the shape of family is desired. I mean, if we're going by the shapes of family for John, it's a circle, which is a very friendly shape. Friendlier shape going, a circle? Potentially. So we need to get one of those built, but at the moment, nobody's good at art, really. Branston is the best at 9 art, but we have so many other jobs to get on with. It's not something I want to be thinking about right now. Okay, we've just had an event pop up where there is a dragon coming through hunting in the area. Now, I haven't really wanted to mention that we have dragons in this mod pack, but we have dragons in this mod pack. Don't ask. But they're coming through and they're hunting these creatures here. Look how cool they are. Chem Tegus. Very interesting. They're basically boomlopes, but cooler. But we now have 2 dragons on the map. Vish and Mizu. Nice. And they're going to go around hunting these Chem Tegus, which is going to blow up. Please step away from my wooden base. Thank you. And Mizu is hunting Acosta. Where's Acosta? Oh no, Acosta is over that way. Don't hunt Acosta. You're meant to be hunting those things there. And then Mizu is now hunting John for food. A wild male dragon is hunting a great ogre. Can John take a dragon in a fight? We've seen how powerful John is. John's a bit of a unit. But enough to take on a dragon? I'm going to summon Branston and Anise as well. And get them to come and help. I'm slightly confident in John. This is a real test, honestly, to see how powerful John is. So Branston and Anise have joined in as well. Is there any way we can execute the dragon? Funnily enough, there is not. Mizu is also revenging now as well. Branston, you've just taken damage there. I'm actually going to get you to come back because I have more faith in John than you. Battle of the Ages. This will be known as the Garden Battle. The Battle of the Gardens. Who will win? A dragon or John? And John the Dragon Slayer has come through with a dub. I wasn't actually too sure John was going to win this. I'll be honest with you guys. I did a cheeky quick save before that fight. Just in case things didn't go our way. And John did it. I'm genuinely impressed. Wow, John, you are an absolute unit. Holy moly. No wonder you killed Pete. Hey, we're eating good tonight. That's a lot of food that we've got in our back pocket now. Good job, John. Proud of you. Mizu the dragon is now slain. The Battle of the Gardens is over. All of our plants are now fertilized with lovely dragon blood. Will that actually make any gameplay difference? No, it will not. Does it sound cool? Yes, it does. And as we get closer to autumn as well, and we're not doing too bad for food at the moment, the death of that dragon was actually massive for our food stocks, and we're getting a very small surplus of food. But we've got to keep up on it as we're getting closer to winter and we're not going to be able to grow anything. I'm going to get John to take on this cave bear here. And then I'm going to get him to kill this other dragon that's been up here for ages. The amount of food we can get from a dragon is unbelievable. And honestly, it's just worth the risk regardless of what animal it is we're killing. And the cave bear has been killed as well. I think eventually I want to start another cave bear breeding program. There's nothing but more than I love in Rimworld than a cave bear breeding program. Yeah, and John is now fully healed as well. John, it's dragon slaying time. John the Dragon Slayer. Whilst I do still believe that John is pure evil for killing Pete, I can't help but admire his ability to defeat dragons, you know? It's very impressive. And John has defeated Vish. John, I am unbelievably proud of you. It's very impressive, honestly. Like, unbelievably impressive. Finish off Vish and go home and claim your prize. Your prize being rest. And that is all. And the colonists can now gain expertise as well. John's ability to fight has proven herself. And I'm very happy to specialize her in fighting, you know. Piercing or dueling. Melee cooldown factor minus 2.5%. Or armor penetration factor plus 5%. I think for the fact that John purely is already an absolute monster of a character, I'm going to go to just increase her ability to hit quicker, because she's armor penetration just means nothing when you're already an absolute massive monster. And Anise is pregnant again as well. Perfect. Now, how can we increase the chances of you having a good birth? You need to eat on tables, and you need to not sleep in the cold, and you need your children to be happy. Okay, so the big one out of these is your children are unhappy. Spag, what is upsetting you at the moment? Awful bedroom, slept in the cold. Okay, Meatloaf, what is upsetting you? You're tired. I can't win, can I really? I genuinely cannot win. It's cold outside, it's 13 Celsius, we don't have any any clothes for the children either, unfortunately. I guess we just put torches in their rooms and hope that it warms them up a little bit. So of all the things that we needed to fix this episode, food, I think, is being fixed quite nicely. We're starting to actually get a decent stockpile of raw meat, of baby food, of fine meals on the go. The Legion stuff we can't, unfortunately, fix yet because we don't have enough colonists old enough. The tattle apparel thing we can't fix yet either because we don't have the spare colonists to do crafting. The low medicine bit, we're growing heal root. We're doing our best. So we have more or less fixed the problems that are most important. The other ones that are just kind of minor that we'll fix as we go as well. Awful bedroom, okay, whatever. Learning starved, there's nothing I can do about that either, really. There's a lot of things that we can now move on to doing now that we've somewhat sorted our food problem. And that is the kitchen. We can start actually putting down production things to make more food. The whole point of this series, if you remember. So far we have just the basic kitchen stove and a butchering table. So I guess next we have a condiment prep table, vegetable milk extractor, food press, a fruit drying rack, a pickling barrel, a food prep table, a milling stone, an electric milling stone, which I imagine does the exact same thing, a sushi prep table, and an automatic milling machine. That's all I can build so far. We'll get all that built and see what they do. Okay, so we've started actually building the bits and pieces of the new kitchen, and people are putting things in things that I'm not quite aware of. So we have the wooden food process here, which makes things into cheese, milk, or tofu. With the wooden fruit drying rack, and that makes dried fruit from just all the fruit that we've got. Very nice. And I assume that'll give more nutrition and better happiness and all that good stuff. Then we have the wooden pickling barrel, which turns vegetables into pickles or makes things into salted meat. Very nice. We also have a sushi prep table here to make loads of sushi. Okay, that is also very epic. I don't know if any of these do anything, but these would be really cool to have, like, when we have the hotel set up and have all different types of, like, cuisines and things. That'd be nice. Then we have the sandstone milling table that also grinds grains into flour. And John has decided to go on a food binge because she's depressed. Now, this usually isn't a very bad thing, and I've been very lucky with mental breaks so far this episode. But let's use this as a way to know what to work on next. Missing shape of family, no sous chef, no commis chef. Things that we can't quite fix yet. Depressive, that's just how it is. Unsightly environment, very easy to fix. When Meatloaf gets old enough, we'll put Meatloaf on cleaning, get everything clean, easy. Awful bedroom, that we can also fix fairly easily. Slept in the cold, another one that we can fix very easily. Looks like the next big jobs that we need to work on is the living area. And I think I've got an idea of what I want to do with this. So at the moment, we've got like a very natural divide going down here. Sort of like have this corner section here for just the living area for the quote-unquote staff. At the moment, I'm giving people these just very basic circular bedrooms. But you know what? They're a bit shit. They're a bit sort of overdone and just kind of just as it is. I think I like having the nursery as a circle here embedded in the cave. I like that. But I think we probably want to actually make things look a little bit nicer for our actual chefs. You know, a chef doesn't live in squalor. A head chef, and various other high-earning chefs would live in nice houses, you know, respectable places. And we've got a nice, decent area here to give the actual people decent homes. The slaves, I'm not too fussed about, you know, as anybody else would. Don't really care. We could probably move the slaves out somewhere else and put them somewhere closer to, like, the working areas. But our actual people, they probably deserve a home. So I think I'll work on a standardized design for a house and go from there. Yeah, so I have designed a actually fairly comprehensive house. It's got a main living area here with a kitchen. It's got a main master bedroom and a big bathroom here with room for expansion. I'm happy with this design. It's a little bit more complex, very expensive on resources. But this will be it in terms of housing for our people. Allows people to have a double bed to live with their significant other. Mainly just Branston and her niece. But, you know, John might find a lover one day. Maybe your niece has a child that grows up really quickly and falls in love with John. Now that I say it out loud, it doesn't really sound like it's going to happen. But with future planning, nonetheless, I'm going to make this as a blueprint and go from there. So I've managed to fit in 4 of these master bedrooms. It's a bit like playing Tetris in a really weird, awkward sort of shape. It doesn't really work, as you can tell by the way that I've positioned these in. At the moment, there's only 4 of these bedrooms, but eventually there will be a hell of a lot more. So theoretically, we'll have John as a main colonist, Branston and niece as main colonists, Spag and Meatloaf as our actual colonists, and every other child after Meatloaf will actually be a slave permanently. Spag and Meatloaf will have the opportunity to become colonists, And I might actually change Spag over, honestly. Now, in terms of the slaves' living area, I don't know where to put them. I'd imagine I can just kind of split them off and put them where Anise and Branston are currently sleeping, and that'll probably do, honestly. Eventually give them a lot nicer bedrooms, though. And a raid from the ogre tribes. This time there's 4 of them. Ooh, and they've accidentally decided to bring along some blood shrimps and then fight them instead. What a shame. What a big shame. John, you can deal with them in a minute and clean up the mess. Ooh, well, it looks like, unfortunately for us, the mess isn't actually the blood shrimp. It's the ogres. The ogres have just been absolutely obliterated. Oh my god, that is not good. I think everybody's going to have to kind of hide inside whilst John's having a mental breakdown. This isn't good. Right, so John is outside having a mental breakdown, and she's getting chased down by a load of blood shrimp. How's this going to go? Probably not too bad, honestly. Don't open that door, John. John, don't open that door, you silly, silly woman. Do not open that door. Don't you dare open that door. You and I aren't friends, John. We are not friends. And they've managed to get through. Branston is carrying her baby. Oh, dear. This is not good. Drop Meatloaf. We have to play the door here. Anise has gone down. This is bad. Ooh, John's broken out of it. Perfect. John. Please save us. Save Anise of everybody. You know what? John's actually in a really bad state here. A really bad state. John, you need to, like, go to the other side of that door and play the doors here. This is bad. John's might die. I've sent Branston and Constance to try help out. Okay, they've done it. They've done it. Bro, John is in a bad state. This is rough, this is. I mean, thankfully, John wasn't going to be bleeding out, but look at all of the... 78 conditions need tending. 78! Jesus, that's a lot of things that can go wrong. Blimey, O'Reilly. And Anise is in labour. Fantastic. What are you doing? Watching crops grow in Growing Zone 22. You're in labour. What are you doing? Going to go watch crops grow? Surely you've got more important things to be thinking about. Okay, we've got a big issue here. Unfortunately, we have an electrical short circuit and the entire restaurant is on fire. But we can't put out the fire because we're in the middle of labor. I can't just cancel a childbirth. I can't do it. Oh, please tell me the childbirth's going okay. A healthy childbirth. Thank God for that. Holy. Okay. Perfect. Let's name the baby. It is a baby boy again. Ryan Anise is also a decent name. For this baby, though, I have a lovely name in mind. Okay, and this name is going to be a lovely name. Very nice. Rolls off the tongue nicely. Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop is going to be our next colonist. Branston and John, please go and save. Please save the restaurant. Oh, God. Baby Lamb. Oh, my God. Look at baby Lamb. He's old. He is 0 years old. Barely out the womb. Fresh out of the oven. And he looks like he's been in every single world war to have ever existed. Holy moly. Anise, what on earth are you doing pushing out an ugly baby like that? Jesus Christ. But anyway, that means that once Anise has recovered, she can get straight back into making more babies. And we can work on making even more children. And I think on that note, we can call things here. I think we have to say a big thank you this episode to Spag and Acosta. Now that they're back at work, putting in the grind, hauling things, tidying up, mining, planting, growing, harvesting, just doing everything that we could ever want for a colony. This is actually going really well. I'm glad that I have spent today's episode, though, actually addressing people's issues. I have noticed a big difference in the way things are going. As a result, barely any mental breakdowns, whilst people are generally still quite sad. They're happier than what they were before. We are addressing the needs and we are going forward from there. The food issues has been more or less completely sorted. I've built a lot more farms. I've almost doubled in size since last episode and focused more things on rice and stuff, easy growing stuff. The new bedrooms here we'll start building next episode as well, which will make people progressively happier as well. And then once Spag and Meatloaf grow up a bit more, it'll make everybody happier even more so. So the plan for next episode is the bedrooms over here, make people's life a bit better, and I think we can start actually working on the hotel stuff as well and start working on the restaurants, especially all the interesting foods that we can make as well. It's going to be fantastic. So if you have enjoyed today's episode and you too are also thankful for spag in a Costa, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. I'll see you next time. Thank you.